Hey, Danny Smith here. I'm going to show you the way I set droop using Lee Lopez's HB droop stand. This droop stand comes in 1/8" aluminum, raw bead blasted aluminum. This one I painted with VHT wrinkle paint. Turned out pretty cool. The stand is 36 millimeters high, so you can use the HB droop ride height gauge to set your droop. You set droop even on each side this way. If you just do the shock length, you may have one different left to right. So using this method, you get it exactly the same on both sides. And the stand works great, so I wanted to show it off. Alright, so the gauge is based off a 30 millimeter center. So you want your chassis at 30 millimeters. So the problem is the hub is 12 millimeters, so you have to make up the 6 millimeters to get the center of the axle. That's where you're trying to locate it versus the height of the chassis. So when it's even with the chassis, it'll be at 30 millimeters. If it's above the chassis, it goes this way, and you'll get a reading that way. If it's, below the chassis, it goes this way. If it's above the chassis, it goes this way, and you can read it off the gauge. So I'm going to show you on this one side, and this is great for any 8-scale car. Doesn't have to be HB. Pretty much works the same for any. So I just like the way it works. This gauge, you could do it with some snap gauges, some kind of ride height gauge, whatever. It's just a little less complicated doing it this way. So let's get started. Set it on the droop stand. Put your gauge under the hub the best you can. I can't really see where it's at, but when you find the lowest point on there, that gives you a reading. A good starting point is 4 millimeters below the chassis in the rear, 4 millimeters above the chassis in the front. So right now this one says 3.5 millimeters, 3.5 millimeters below the chassis. So we're going to increase it a little bit, so you loosen the droop screw till it says, so it goes to the mark 4 millimeters below the chassis. So that's it. That's what you do on that side. So do it, repeat it on the other side. On this side, it's pretty much the same. 3 millimeters. So I'll loosen a little bit. So 4 millimeters. Okay, we'll slide it back so you can see the front. Front's going to be 4 millimeters above the chassis. So right now that one's 5 millimeters above the chassis. So we're going to loosen it till it's 4 millimeters above the chassis. Same thing on the other side. This one's right on the money, 4 millimeters above the chassis. So that's pretty much it. This way, maybe it's better you see this way. If you measure the shock length, you can have a bent arm or something different to where your shock length is different from one side, or the shock length's the same, but it puts the hub position at a different spot. So this way you get both hubs, center of the axle, in the correct spot, even on each side. And that's it.